Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Eric.
And we're the founders of Fontana Candle Co.
In 5 years, we took our business as a hobby and grew it into a $1 million plus candle business.
Today we're taking it inside and we're going to show you all around Fontana.
Come on in for a tour. Okay, so the first thing that we do when we start by wicking. Come on over, follow me to our wicking station. So how we start by wicking, everything comes in on a work order. So this work order tells us how many scents we're pouring, what scents we're pouring, and in what size. So for each size, it kind of determines on how many candles can go on each tray. We have our little cheat sheet here that tells us how many candles go on each tray so that it's standard every single time. So one of the things that is really important in candle making is making sure that those wicks are very, very centered. When you're placing one or two at a time, it's easy to spend the extra time to make sure they're centered. But when you have 1,000 of them to do, any way you can speed up that process with taking the subjectivity out of it helps. Once each tray has been wicked, they then go to our baker's racks for easy transportation to our pouring station. So after wicking, we go into pouring. We have 5 of these melters here that liquefy and melt our wax. They're all water jacketed, so we don't have to worry about hot spots or anything like that. But we put our custom blend in here, let them heat up and melt, and then we go over to our essential oil rack and build our formula for the scent that we're making for today. So we do only use essential oils at Fontana, and we use quite a bit of them. So we have everyone lined up here. They're all in alphabetical order, and we have distinctive bill of materials for each recipe. So our candle pourer, who makes the recipe for us, has a computer that has every recipe in it, so she can tell what she wants to make, and it'll tell her exactly how many ounces of each essential oil she needs to make a scent for our master batch. So this is where we do all of our blending that goes into our candles. We have a plastic pot for each scent so that we can weigh it out specifically and exactly. If we overpour, it's easy enough to just take it and pour it back into the vessel rather than trying to mix it all together and get each one exactly right. So measuring each one individually, that if you overpour, you can just fix it really easily. It's made life a lot easier. So we have these little pancake fillers that we use to fill each candle with. So again, everything is handmade. They then sit on this table for about a half hour and cool, and then they go from our pouring table to our hitting table. When we started, we used the heat gun. So we would hand hold it over every single one, get a melt pool, and burp them, we call it, wiggling the wicks, making sure there's no sinkholes. Once we started making hundreds of candles, this got a little slow. So what we did was we developed this rolling table that is underneath a heating element that we can just slide the trays down. It'll heat 4 or 5 or 6 of them at a time, and then you can wiggle your wick, center your wick, and while you're doing that, the next batch is sitting behind it, warming up and melting. So once the candles have passed over and have cooled to the point that the tops are solid, we then move them into an insulated bun rack for them to dry and cure fully. So once that rack is full, then we push them over to the wall over there and let them cure for at least 5 hours before we take them out. So we don't just make candles at Fontana Candle Company anymore. We have diversified our products a little bit. We now make room sprays, hand soap, bath soaks, and lip balms. So one of the things we decided and found out real quick that we needed was separate areas to make those over the candles. So you can see on the floor there's a yellow line. This is for our skincare type products, so you must wear PPE to come in here, hairnets, gloves, all that stuff. And this is a nice separator for our candle products versus our body care type products. So once those candles have cooled and are cured, we bring them over to our labeling station. So you can see Crystal over here, she is lidding the tins. So it's really important that we trim our wicks, make sure they have a warning label on them, that they are clean from any residual wax, and then have the proper label affixed to them. So everything is by hand. We do have this labeling machine that we are working on really getting running, but it's kind of temperamental, so we are still working through that. So one of the final things that we have done after everything has been labeled and cleaned, they get staged in these carts so that they can then go into our backstock location or into our picking location. One thing you'll notice is that this sheet that we started with travels with the batch everywhere. We start taking notes on it about what kind of oil was used and how much each was measured in, who did the hitting, who did the pouring, who did the cleaning, how many were done, how many were seconds. So this really helps us with our inventory management and quality assurance, allowing us to know each batch, what went into it and who helped make it. So you'll notice on this cart we have this little red bin right here. And what that means is that it's a way to segregate the bad candles from the good candles. So for example, one of the things that we look at is this tin is dented, but it also has a really big crack in the center. And that's not something we will want. So we try to fix them. If they don't fix, we second them and they get put into this red bin. Our next step is to take our cart and put them into the system, which will tell us whether they're going into the backstock or into our library locations. So we have a WMS system which helps us track all of our inventory. So all of our finished goods get put into the system through a purchase order. And when that happens, that actually automatically pushes to our website. So the website then has more stock to sell. And every time a sell comes in, this software will put a reserve against our inventory until it's shipped. So we don't have to worry about overselling a product because we run out of stock. This system keeps track of it all for us seamlessly. So in this library, this is where everything gets picked from for fulfilling orders. We have in our WMS system, we print out every order and it gives us a pick sheet. We have 12 orders in each packet, and basically this sets it up so that we can go up and down our library once and have 12 orders picked at one time. So this really helps with our efficiency and making it really fast in picking orders. You're not going back and forth, up and down, picking one order at a time. You're actually picking 12 orders at a time. And we'll go further into details of how we do our picking and shipping in another video. Once the carts are picked, then they come back to our shipping stations. We have 3 of them set up. Each one has its own tape machine, its own computer, its own scanner, its own peanut hopper, and its own set of boxes. So being independent, everyone can have their own station. We don't have to worry about people tripping over each other trying to get supplies. Up until about last year or 2 years ago, we actually had to hand deliver every package. So USPS does pick up for free. UPS, it's a small fee, I think it's $10 a week that they will come and pick up packages for you. So that has been a huge time saver for us and allows us to not have to run to the post office or UPS every day to drop off packages. So hopefully you enjoyed our little behind the scenes tour of our shop. If you want more of these, if you have ideas for other videos, please drop a comment, let us know. And if you could like and subscribe to our channel, that would be most helpful and appreciated.
It really helps us out.
It does.
Thanks, guys.